Today's video, where we're going to talk about something that can completely change your life, the power of habits. I'm excited to share with you the science behind habit formation. Think about this. Rahul wakes up every morning wanting to exercise, but somehow ends up scrolling on his phone instead. Priya buys fresh vegetables with plans to cook healthy meals, but orders food delivery most nights. And Arjun promises himself he'll study regularly, but always ends up cramming before exams. Does any of this sound familiar? We all have habits we want to build, but somehow we struggle to make them stick. But what if I told you that with the right approach, you could build any habit in just 21 days? Today, I'm going to share with you the exact science-backed system that has helped thousands of people, including myself, to build life-changing habits that actually stick. We'll cover why the 21-day rule actually works when done correctly, the simple 4-part habit loop that controls all our behaviors, and a step-by-step method you can start using today. Plus, I'll share real stories of ordinary people who have transformed their lives through habit formation. So if you're ready to finally make those positive changes in your life, let's dive in. Part 1. The myth and truth of 21 days. You've probably heard people say it takes 21 days to form a habit. This idea became popular in the 1960s, when a plastic surgeon named Dr. Maxwell Maltz noticed that patients took about 21 days to get used to their new appearance. But here's the truth. A study from University College London found that it actually takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days to form a habit, with the average being 66 days. So why do we still talk about 21 days? Because 21 days is the minimum time needed to see the beginning of real neural changes in your brain. It's the critical threshold where habit formation starts to take hold. Let me tell you about my friend Amit. He tried to start a meditation practice multiple times, but always gave up after a week or two. When I taught him about the 21-day threshold, he committed to pushing through no matter what. On day 14, he still had to force himself to sit down and meditate. But by day 22, something interesting happened. He actually felt uncomfortable when he didn't meditate. The habit had begun to wire itself into his brain. So while complete habit formation may take longer, 21 days is the critical period where your brain begins to rewire itself. If you can make it through these first 21 days, you've won half the battle. Part 2. The science of habit loops. Let's look at what actually happens in your brain when you form a habit. According to research from MIT and other leading universities, every habit follows a simple 4-part loop. First one is cue. This is the trigger that initiates your habit. It could be a time of day, a location, an emotional state, or something in your environment. Example, you feel stressed, cue, and automatically reach for your phone to scroll social media. Second one is craving. This is the motivation behind your habit, the desire for the change in internal state that you're seeking. Example, you crave the distraction and dopamine hit that comes from scrolling. Third one is response. This is the actual habit or action you perform. Example, you spend 30 minutes scrolling through social media feeds. Fourth one is reward. This is the benefit you gain from doing the habit. Example, you temporarily feel better as your brain gets a dopamine release. Think of this loop as a cycle that spins faster each time you repeat it. The first few spins are slow and require effort. But with each repetition, it gains momentum until eventually it spins automatically. That's when a behavior truly becomes a habit. The habit loop explains why we often find ourselves doing things automatically without thinking. Your brain is constantly looking for ways to save energy, and habits are its way of putting behaviors on autopilot. In many places across India, women have the habit of cleaning their front yard every morning. The cue is sunrise. The craving is for a clean and welcoming home. The response is sweeping the yard, and the reward is pride in their home and approval from neighbors. This habit is so strong that it happens automatically, rain or shine. That's the power of a fully formed habit loop. Part 3. Why habits fail to stick. Now that we understand how habits work, let's talk about why so many of us fail when trying to build new habits. There are 3 main reasons. First, we rely too much on motivation and willpower. Motivation is like a wave. It rises and falls. If your habit depends on feeling motivated, it won't last. Remember how excited you were on January 1st with your New Year resolutions. And where was that excitement by January 15th? Motivation always fades. Second, we try to change too much at once. When Deepak decided to get healthy, he tried to wake up at 5 a.m., exercise for an hour, meditate, and also completely change his diet, all starting on the same day. By day 3, he was exhausted and gave up everything. Third, we don't design our environment for success. Sonia wanted to reduce her social media use, but kept her phone by her bedside at night. The temptation was too strong to resist. If any of these mistakes sound familiar, don't feel bad. We've all been there. The good news is that understanding why habits fail gives us the knowledge to make them succeed. Part 4. The 21-Day Habit Formation System. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the exact system to build any habit in 21 days. This system works because it applies the science we've learned and addresses the common reasons habits fail. Step 1. Select one small habit to focus on. The smaller the habit, the easier it is to establish. Instead of "I'll exercise every day," start with "I'll do 5 push-ups every morning." Suresh wanted to start reading more books. Instead of setting a goal to read 1 hour daily, he started with just reading 2 pages every night before bed. This was so easy he couldn't say no, and it helped him establish the reading habit. Step 2. Identify a clear cue or trigger. Link your new habit to something you already do consistently. This is called habit stacking. Neera wanted to start a gratitude practice. She decided to write 3 things she was grateful for right after brushing her teeth in the morning, something she already did every day without fail. The act of putting down her toothbrush became the cue for her new habit. Step 3. Make the habit attractive and satisfying. Our brains respond to pleasure. Find ways to make your new habit enjoyable. Raj wanted to start a walking habit. He made it attractive by only allowing himself to listen to his favorite podcast while walking. Soon he looked forward to his walks because they meant he could enjoy his podcast. Step 4. Make it easy to do and hard to avoid. Reduce friction for your desired habit and increase friction for unwanted behaviors. Anya wanted to drink more water. She bought a large water bottle and kept it filled and on her desk all day. This made drinking water much easier than going to the kitchen for other beverages. Step 5. Track your progress visibly for 21 days. The simple act of recording each successful day creates momentum and satisfaction. Vikram put a calendar on his wall and marked an X each day he practiced his guitar. As the chain of X's grew longer, his motivation to continue also grew. He didn't want to break the chain. Remember, consistency matters more than perfection. If you miss a day, don't give up. Just get back on track immediately the next day. The goal is 21 days of mostly consistent behavior, not perfect behavior. Part 5. Overcoming common obstacles. Even with the best system, you'll face obstacles. Let's address the most common ones. Obstacle: I forgot to do my habit. Solution: use reminders strategically. Place visual cues in your environment, sticky notes, alarms, or objects that remind you of your habit. Pooya placed her yoga mat next to her bed so she would see it first thing in the morning, reminding her to do her morning stretches. Obstacle: I don't feel like doing it today. Solution: use the 2-minute rule. Tell yourself you'll do just 2 minutes of the habit. Often starting is the hardest part, and once you begin, you'll continue. Anand didn't feel like studying one evening, so he committed to just 2 minutes. Once he started, he ended up studying for a full hour. Obstacle: my family friends don't support my new habit. Solution: find a community that shares your goal. Join online groups, find an accountability partner, or share your progress with supportive friends. When Neha's family made fun of her morning running habit, she joined a running group on WhatsApp where she found encouragement. Obstacle: I'm not seeing results quickly enough. Solution: focus on identity, not just outcomes. Tell yourself, I am the kind of person who exercises daily rather than I want to lose weight. When you focus on becoming a different person, the results will follow naturally. Aryan stopped saying I'm trying to quit smoking and started saying I'm not a smoker. This subtle shift in identity made a huge difference. Let me finish with the story of Lakshmi, a 45-year-old teacher. She had tried for years to establish a writing habit, but always gave up after a few days. Using this 21-day system, she started writing just 50 words every day after her morning chai. For the first week, she had to force herself. The second week got a bit easier. By the third week, Writing had become a natural part of her day. 1 year later, Lakshmi had completed her first novel, all from a simple 50-word daily habit. Remember, the first 21 days are critical for rewiring your brain. Understand and design your habit loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Start small, be consistent, and set up your environment for success. Track your progress and focus on becoming the type of person who has this habit. Now it's your turn. In the comments below, share one habit you're going to focus on for the next 21 days. I'll personally reply to as many comments as I can with specific advice for your situation. And if you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit. Together, we can build a community of people supporting each other and creating positive habits. Thank you for watching.